A new month and new reads, which is usually exciting until you realize you haven't come close to finishing everything from November. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another monthly TBR. This, the last for 2026. 2025. As 2026 is right around the corner, so December of 2025. And kind of what I mentioned there is I haven't finished everything from November yet, and we're kind of getting close to the end of the month. And I'm kind of wondering how I am going to do all this. But hey, again, where's the fire? What's the rush? We don't get these. The TBR police aren't going to come get us, right? Right? Okay, well, guys, I got a few books on here for December that I do want to read. And a couple of them, not so heavy, not such a big deal. One of them, the heaviest book that I have read this year, or potentially will read this year. And we're going to kind of get into the madness that has been the fourth quarter of this year when it comes to big old chonkers. Because October, November, December, littered with big boys. And you know, when you read sci-fi fantasy, you just come to expect it. Sometimes is it really worth it? I think it is. I mean, we never really get tired of big old fantasy books, do we? Well, we'll see. We're going to talk about. We're going to begin with one of these smaller ones, and it's probably the book that I am the most excited about. So much so that I'm talking about not being able to finish those books in November, and I kind of already started a little bit. This is going to be 12 months by Jim Butcher. This is the newest book, the 18th book in the Dresden Files, the first book in 4 years. Maybe it's 4 years. And what I've learned about this is basically that depression, it took me about 2 years to get over after Battleground. Yeah, he kind of reopens those wounds in the first 100 pages. So thank you, Jim. You are always the best at doing that, about making me feel terrible, but also making me have a great time with this character that I do love so much. I'm on page 129 right now. So, hey, I got a little excited. I had it when I was on the plane going to the Sun Eater Gala, and I said, you know what? I don't think I'm ready to read a little bit of vampire stuff right now, but I think I'm ready to read some vampire stuff right now. If you know, you know. But this is a book that obviously a lot of people are excited about, myself included. And so I want to make sure, like I said, I want to put a focus back on reading some review copies before they come out, because I feel like that's very irresponsible of me to request review copies and then not read them before they come out. And this one is going to be no different. So this will be something that as soon as I finish, hopefully, the stuff in November, this will be what I kind of continue with. But guys, don't worry, there's not going to be any spoilers here. Very vague. If you haven't read the Dresden Files, I don't think this is going to ruin anything for you. I went through and proofread these to make sure that if you aren't current with the series, it's not going to ruin anything for you. But if you want to know nothing, I've got the timestamps. You can skip to the next one. So 12 Months by Jim Butcher. What is this one about? Well, 1 year, 365 days, 12 months. Harry Dresden has been through a lot. And so is the city. After Harry and his allies narrowly managed to save Chicago, everything is different. And it's not just the current lack of electricity. Harry lost people he cared about in the battle, and that's the kind of loss that takes a toll. But Harry being Harry, he's doing his best to help the city and his friends recover and rebuild. But it's a heavy load, and he needs time. But time is one thing Harry doesn't have. Ghouls are prowling Chicago and killing innocent civilians. Harry's brother is in serious trouble, and he doesn't know how to help him. And last but certainly not least, the Winter Queen of the Fae has allied with the White Court of Vampires, and Harry's been betrothed to seal the deal. It's been a tough year. More than ever, the city needs Harry Dresden the Wizard, but after loss and grief, is there enough left of him to rise to the challenge? I can tell you guys, worry not if you're worried about the layover hurting the series, because no, it was very effortless to pick back up that rod and that staff, put that jacket on, and get right back into the world of Dresden Files. He has not lost his touch, and I'm hoping that this has opened the floodgates now where he's going to start writing them back to one a year like he used to, but I doubt it. That would be, I will sit here and admit to you guys, I am spoiled. I never had to wait for Dresden Files books. When I first started reading it, Peace Talks and Battleground were on their way. So I didn't have that long wait you guys did. This is the first time I've had to wait, and it's been awful. I don't want to do it anymore. So there we go. So hopefully this will kind of open those floodgates, like I said, and Jim will get back to writing these at a faster pace. I do hope that is the case, because I would love to get back to reading some Harry Dresden like all the time, like I used to, because at this point, that group just feels like friends to me, and I would love to see them a lot more than I currently do, but I'm excited with what I've read so far. This feels like it's going to be one of my favorite ones in a minute, and I haven't really disliked any of them. So there we go. When people tell you that the Dresden Files books just get better and better, guys are not kidding. They really do get great, and I think there's some that you're going to like more than others. So, but it's like the Mission Impossible. Actually, I haven't watched the most recent Mission Impossible. But I said the Mission Impossible franchise, it was like 3 was better than 2, 4 was better than 3, 5 was better than 4, 6 was better than 5. It's just like it just got better and better. But then it just kind of like you look at it and say, well, it kind of depends on what you're looking for, I think, because I wouldn't say that, the last 2 Dresden books were better than the previous ones, but I also love the ℚ𝕤𝕤𝕣𝕠𝕜, So it just kind of depends for you. There's something for everybody here, but again, people who've really kind of into the current arc, I think you're going to be quite happy with what you do find. And I'm so excited that Ace did send me a review copy, and I get to read it early because I have been itching to read this ever since I finished the last pages of Battleground, and I'm sure you guys have as well. Something I mentioned in a recent video is that I think I was talking to Ronald Malfi recently, and I was telling him I don't read a lot of crime novels. Besides, some of his that he's done, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, maybe the Bill Hodges trilogy, I haven't really read a lot of it, but I did really enjoy some of the procedurals on television. And one of those was the Harry Bosch series on Amazon. I love Titus Welliver. I think he's amazing. And I think that show was very, very good. So I said, maybe someday, because I hear Michael Connelly, everybody loves him. Michael Connelly is the reason that Stephen King decided he's going to write crime novels now. It's because he liked Michael Connelly so much. And I was just always kind of like, I don't know if I want to start a series like that. I kind of like the standalone idea, because when you read fantasy, you get very rare standalones, and I was like, okay, with a crime novel, at least you get standalones. People are like, well, no, this is kind of a big series. However, you can kind of read them as standalones if you want to. And that's why for the ℚ𝕠𝕤𝕤𝕣𝕠𝕜, Brian did pick book number 4 in the Harry Bosch series, which is going to be The Last Coyote. And I was like, really? We're going to start with book number 4? That's interesting. Well, our good friend Josh over at Red Fury Books, he apparently is a Bosch aficionado, and he said that's a great place to start. Because the thing was, I talked a few months back on a book haul. I said I bought the first 5 they had in a bundle there, and a lot of people were telling me, hey, it's starting about with Last Coyote, it gets really good. So if you can start there, even better. Me having some knowledge of the television series, I think it'll be easy for me to slip into it. I think that television series, what they would do is they would take a couple of Bosch books and kind of combine them into one story. So just reading the description of this, I'm like, yeah, some of that I think happened in the first or second season of Bosch. So it might be a little familiar, but I'm pretty sure that the twists will be different along the way. But as much as excitement as I can have for a crime book, like I said, the whole point of the ℚ𝕠𝕤𝕤𝕣𝕠 was to get out of our comfort zone, read maybe some different genres, check out some stuff that maybe we would have never read outside of a group like that. So I thank Brian for keeping it original in that regard. And I'm glad that we're going to do this because, like I said, I really did enjoy the TV series, and now I have faces to go with all the names. That does help with a series like this. But The Last Coyote, Michael Connelly, what is this one about? Well, LAPD detective Harry Bosch is down on his luck. His house has been condemned in the aftermath of an earthquake, his girlfriend has left him, and he has been suspended for attacking his superior officer. At first, he resists the LAPD shrink, but finally recognizes that something is troubling him and has for a long time. In 1961, when Harry was 12, his mother was brutally murdered, and no one has ever been accused of the crime. With the spare time a suspension brings, Harry opens up the 30-year-old file on the case and is irresistibly drawn into a past he has always avoided. It's clear that the case was fumbled, and the smell of a cover-up is unmistakable. Someone powerful was able to divert justice, and Harry vows to uncover the truth. As he relentlessly follows the broken pieces of the case, the stirred interest causes new murders and pushes Harry to the edge of his job and his life. So yes, again, like I said, if you've watched this show, you probably recognize some of these. If you've read the books, obviously you're either laughing or upset right now because you're like, I'm excited that you're going to start this, but you're starting in the wrong place, like Discworld fans did to me. Read Discworld, and then when I started reading it, like, no, you're reading it wrong. So I don't know how people feel about us starting here, but like I said, Josh, really big Bosch fan. He said this is a great place to start with it. So again, having that knowledge from the TV series helps me a lot. I can kind of judge that against the other 3 gentlemen in the group because I don't think they've watched the TV series before, so we can kind of see how they feel about it. But I don't. While I don't like I said, crime novels outside. I think like Agatha Christie and stuff in high school. That was about the closest I've come to anything. But police detective novels are always just kind of a drag to me because they just want to be noir so bad, and it's like, you're not noir. Stop it. But we'll see. I'm going to go to it with an open mind, and I am excited, like I said, about it being kind of an open and shut book. You can kind of just walk away from the series, and that's what I do admire about those. It's like I used to complain about some of those standalone episodes of the X-Files. Like, dude, something incredible happened last week, and then you have a Monster of the Week episode. They don't even act like anything happened last week. What the heck? That can bother you, I think. But when you read so many series, book 1 of 9 and stuff, it's nice to have one where you can read it and just kind of walk away from it if you want to. And hopefully that's what this one is. Now the last one, guys, this is the biggest book on my TBR all year. It did come out in March. Well, actually, it came out March, I think so. The author actually gave me a review copy early, and I just told him, I was like, my brother, look, I love you, man. I've got no room for a 460,000 word book right now, but I do plan to get to it sometime this year. In December is the time of the year where I will finally be going back to the Bound of the Broken, guys. This is Of Empires and Dust. My physical copy still hasn't shown up yet. I don't know if it's just it's so heavy, it's sinking the ships that they're trying to bring it across the pond to me or not. It just hasn't got here yet, so that's fine. As heavy as this book is, I'm glad I'm reading it digitally because I might get hand cramps if I don't. But Empires of Empires and Dust, this is one obviously I'm thrilled about, because if it wasn't for Lonesome Dove being one of the greatest books I've ever read, Of War and Ruin is one of the greatest fantasy books I've ever read. It would have been my book of the year that year I read Lonesome Dove. So my wife is reading Of War and Ruin right now. She's been kind of going through the series this year. After we went to the signing last year with Ryan, she said she wanted to try the series out. She's kind of been doing other things, but now she's just kind of back to back. She's in the middle of War and Ruin right now, and she's trying to speed run it and finish it so she and I can get together and do Of Empires and Dust later on this year. And it would be thrilling to have a co-pilot on a book this long. But again, this is one of the best new fantasy series I've read, guys. I've talked about how I had been looking for something, Dragon Rider fantasy, that really just kind of took over my imagination. And this series very much did. And then I took a little break, obviously, because it was the first time I had to, first three were out when I started reading it. And I've only gotten a small little novella in that time. This is the first time I get to go back to a full-length novel, which is the size of 4 full-length novels, because Ryan, if you've met him in person, he can't say anything quickly. He's going to say it in abundance, and we do love that about him. But Of Empires and Dust, again, guys, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. If you haven't even started the series, this is going to make no sense to you. If you're current on the series, hey, you'll be excited to hear about it. And if you're like me and you had that break, he does write incredible recaps for the books on his website. So check that out. If you haven't started the series yet, go back and watch all my early reviews, and you can still get the novella for free if you sign up for the newsletter on his website. So a little free marketing there for you, Ryan. You're such a good guy. I'm going to go ahead and let that one go. But Of Empires and Dust, guys, where are our heroes at this point? Well, Caleb Breyer grapples with the fallout of recent battles. The path forward is littered with choices that will bleed him dry. But he's a ℓ𝕤𝕤. He is a guardian. He will always stand when others call. His sister Ella lies fragmented, her mind split between worlds, and her fate unknown. But the blood of the wolf is strong. Hundreds of miles away, Dallin Varander leads the defenses gathered from across the region. If this is to be his end, he will enter Acheron's halls as a warrior who would not yield. Dain Ateres hunts those who betrayed his family, while Alina prepares her army to besiege the legendary Acheron's keep. When Rhys Havel is offered a new path forward, one that few have ever trodden, one that could forge him into a mage of no equal. As the blood moon taints the sky, Kalimvar and the Knights of Acheron battle tirelessly against the shadow, doing everything within their power to hold back the darkness. The gods are waking. The world is burning. Ashes and dust are all that will remain. And guys, you know what's really exciting about this series? Freaking dragons. Dragons in the most epic sense you can imagine. It's just, the series is so good, guys. And I wish more of you would give it a try. I know a lot of you have, but I wish more of you would give it a try. Forget about your preconceived notions about what you think it is, because it is so, so much more. And even my wife is saying, at first I thought there's nothing really unique about this. Now she just can't get enough of it. She's, every single morning when I wake up, she's telling me about the part that she read before bed. I'm like, yeah, Of War and Ruin is just that good. It really is. And I'm hoping that this does follow suit. And I do expect it to. I have expectations for this book, guys. But as that is being such a long book, guys, and I haven't even started Shadows Upon Time yet, that'll be all I've got planned for this month. The ℓ𝕤𝕤 Files book, I'll finish that in a couple of days. I always fly through a ℓ𝕤𝕤 Files book. With the Bosch book, I don't imagine it'll be too long, because we have to do that because we have to have our discussion with ℚ𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. So I don't think that'll take too long. But basically, my month is going to be dominated by Rockio and Cahill. Ironically, two guys who I emceed for last year. But I got to finish this first. I'm almost done with that. But guys, I had back to back. I had Joe Hill's King Sorrow. Then I had James Island with Strength of Few. Now Empire of the Damned. Then Shadows Upon Time. And Of Empires and Dust, guys, that is basically the length of about 12 regular books. It's been something. But again, this is the business we've chosen. I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I do love a long book. But it just so much travel and stuff. I just really got beat down this month, and I knew. I mean, hand to God, I knew I was never going to be able to get Shaz Upon Time, Empire of the Dawn, and Strength of Few all in November. I knew that wasn't going to happen, and I don't even know if I'm going to get that Michael McDowell book. So it's been a month. It really, really has, and like I said, wrapped around so much travel and wonderful events that I got to attend and even host was just a blast for me. And so I regret nothing. I regret nothing, and I always tell you guys, where's the fire? Are the TBR police going to come get you? And that's kind of how I feel right now. But thrilled, obviously, to continue with these series, to conclude one of them. That's even better. And, see the return of a series I love dearly, like the Dresden Files. It should be a very, very exciting capper to the year. But I'd love to know what you guys are looking forward to in December. What do you have on your TBR? Have you finished everything from November yet? Have you read all 3 of those chonkers that a lot of us were reading? I'd love to hear about it, guys. Why don't you go ahead and drop in the comments, let me know what you plan to read in December, and I will talk to you there.